be there. That they took the money or they took the land away and they made it their land. Right? But the majority of the ulama, they consider al-ghasb if it's just taken away. It doesn't matter who does this land belong to. As long as it's taken away, that's considered to be ghasb. And of course, the madhab of Hanifa doesn't mean that it's okay to take it without claiming it to be for one or the other, but it's just a matter of different terminology of defining the word, because the consequences of it. So this is al-ghasb. And the hadith is clear. Then the next مسألة وعليه رده لصاحبه ولو غرم أضعافه, which means وعليه, on him, on the one that took something without the right to take, رده, he has to return it back to its owner. Of course, because this is haram, he has to return it back. ولو غرم أضعافه, which means even if he had incurred on himself so much money or so much responsibility as a result of having it, even if it's multiplication of what this thing is worth. For example, if a person took a piece of land and he planted the land and he put all kinds of things in it and he built, even say for example, took a piece of land that does not belong to him and he put steel and foundation and everything and he built the building. He has to return it back, and nothing that he spent on this land is his. Because he took that without the right to do that. Right? He stole it. And as a principle, when someone do something of a sin like this, if there's more than one choice, there's a principle in matters of fiqh that he will be given the most difficult one. Because he's supposed to be punished. He's not going to be given the most lenient way out or the most difficult one to go out. Why? Because he originally committed something that is an evil thing, and the Prophet ﷺ said, إن أموالكم إن دماءكم وأموالكم وأعراضكم عليكم حرام كحرمة يومكم هذا في شهركم هذا في بلدكم هذه. In Hajjatul Wada', when the Prophet ﷺ said that your blood and your money and your honor are haram, the same way that this day is haram, which was the day of Arafah on the same month, which is the month of Al-Hijjah, which is month haram, in the Balad al-Haram in Mecca. So this is not an easy thing to take the wealth of another without the right to do that. So even if he paid so much money or something happened or he fixed something that was not working right, it doesn't matter. He is not to be given any of this because he originally stole that from someone. وعليه نقصه وأجرته مدة مقامه بيده وضمانه إذا تلف مطلقا. Which means also on him, naqsu, if something decreased. He took something that would decrease. Like, for example, something that would decrease, its price decreased. He took a car, he stole a car, and the car, the price of it decreased. He is to incur the decrease on himself. Right? Not that the decrease will go back to the owner, the original owner, no. He has to pay the difference. Because the moment he took it, it was more expensive. So if it get decreased, depreciated or whatever, the one that stole it, he incurred this on him. وَأُجْرَتُهُ, and say for example, a person took over a building and the owner was renting that building. So someone, took over that place. Then from the moment he took it till it's back, the amount of rent is on him, is on the one that stole it. And he has to give it to even if he didn't rent it, even if he didn't do nothing with it, but the person used to rent it every month, then he has to pay the rent to the owner for every month that he took it, as an example. مدة مقامه بيده, the period that it was under his control. وضمانه إذا تلف مطلقا, and he guaranteed if it's ruined or something happened to it, he is to guarantee to bring the like of it. So if it's a car and made an accident, right, he has to fix it or to bring the like of it if it's no way for it to be fixed, or a building or anything. So it's basically to make sure that everything is returned the same way it was taken. And anything a person might say, but if it normally would depreciate or something would happen to it if it was with the original owner. Yes, but because he took that without the right for him to do so, then he is to be punished as a punishment for him. That's why he says here in the footnote that the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said that the things that to be guaranteed if somebody takes it is whether it's yadul mu'tadi, muta'addiyah. If someone would transgress and stealing or something like this, then taking something with any form of injustice, he has to bring it back the same way. And also if somebody destroys the wealth of someone intentionally or unintentionally. That's why, for example, if a person hits someone's car unintentionally, he didn't intend to hit him, then still he has to repair and to give whatever the means to make sure that it's fixed. Or anything else, whether it's a building, wealth, any form of wealth, even if it's small, if a person breaks it, he has to bring the like of it to fix it and so on. Unless a person forgives, that's something else. Or also, if a person was a mean for some transgression, he helped someone to break something, right? So it's not just the one that directly did it, but anyone that helped also, they share the crime. Even if it's 1,000 people, they will have a share in it and they will take their upon themselves. Why? Because this is something to be honored and respected. The wealth of a Muslim is like killing. The same thing with killing. The Muslim is killed. 2,000 people, they get together and they decided to kill one person. And only one did the killing. The 2,000 to be hanged, if there's a judge. If they, all of them, they made the agreement, and of course with no benefits of doubts and anything, just in a case where they are premeditated, death and so on, killing, all of them, they are to be responsible exactly like the one did it. No difference between one or the other. Right? And has to be, of course, a direct way. This is definitely something to be done by the judge. Then he says, وَزِيَادَتُهُ لِرَبِّهِ. If whatever is taken away in an unjust way, it increased. A goat that gave, baby goats or camels or whatever there is, then the increase of it, and he spent from his money. The one that stole it, he spent from his money, he fed the animal and everything. All of what he spent is not to be given back to him, and any increase is to be returned to the owner. Any form of increase. Right? When the ulama talked about, say for example, he took a machine that cultivates the land, right? And he stole that, and he went and he worked, and hired by other people to do this, and he made money. The money is to be given to the original owner, right? Even if you used his effort, and he, sweated and worked hard, and stole a knife, for example, to cut grass, or whatever, a scissor to cut the grass and everything. All the money that he makes, some said the money is for him, but the machine is to the owner, right? But the other opinion is everything to the owner. Why? Because he originally took that without the right to do so. So وَزِيَادَتُهُ لِرَبِّهِ. He mentioned some of the examples. كما إذا نجر الخشب أو إذا نجر الخشب بابا. For example, if he took wood and he made a door from the wood, took a tree from the guy and then he made a door from it, or he took some iron or steel and he made pots with it, right? فإنه على مثل الغصب. Then it's to be returned, all of it, to the one that he stole the money from. But if it's changed to be something completely different, then he still also has to give the value of it. Like, for example, he took one egg and it became chicken, right? Then he is to give the money instead, and so. Then he says, وَإِنْ كَانَتْ أَرْضًا فَغَرَسَ أَوْ بَنَ فِيهَا فَلِرَبِّهِ قَلْعٌ. If he took a land, right, and he planted trees in it, or built on this land, فَلِرَبِّهِ قَلْعٌ. To the owner, he has the right to take this off. Right? And the hadith ليس لعرق ظالم حق. Abu Dawud. And this is an authentic hadith, which means عرق ظالم. عرق is anything that is planted, whether it's from a palm tree or any tree. Anything that is planted unjustly, there's no right for it whatsoever. Right? So the owner, he has the right to tell him to take it off. Or if he said leave it, then to leave it, then it's to the owner. But he has the right to tell him to destroy the building. And he's not to be compensated for any money that he spent. Even if he made the land perfect, he took it, ruined, and he made it perfect. Doesn't matter. He took it, he stole it. That's haram. Even if it's a masjid built on a land that has been stolen, the masjid is to be destroyed. If people took a land that is not the right for them to take it, and they build a masjid on it, they can say then, house of Allah, or no, the masjid is to be destroyed. To show how the honor and to respect the wealth of a Muslim. وَمَنْ انتقلت إلى أن of course it's not permissible to pray in such a masjid if it's known that it's been taken by force or so. وَمَنْ انتقلت إليه العين من الغصب وهو عالم فحكمه حكم الغصب. And whoever the al-ayn, or the thing that has been stolen, the materialistic thing, is moved to someone from the ghasib, from the one that stole it, he sold it to someone else, and he knows, then the ruling is the same as the rule of the one that took it away from origin. So many people, they buy things and they know that it's been stolen, right? They have the same the consequences of the same as if they themselves took it away by force or they stole it themselves, right? If they know that this is stolen, right? So that means that the owner, first of all, it's not permissible to purchase something that you know that it's been taken away without the right to be taken away. It's not permissible. And if a person took it and he didn't know, there's no sin, but he has to return it to the original owner and not to say, well, I paid money. It's, قدر الله ما شاء. It's the one that sold it to you is a thief, right? But you have to return it to the original owner of it. And anything that you did to it, anything that you spend on it, the owner has nothing to do with this. And you have to just be patient and seek rewards from Allah that you have been tricked by that thief that was in it. Right?
Shaykh, somebody stole something from the store, you didn't know. He sold it to you.
Right.
And then later you thought that, even you paid fair price. Later you found out that this is most likely stolen from the store.
Right. If you find out that it's most likely stolen from the store, then if you have the means to find out who's the original owner of this, then you have to take the means to give it back to him. If there is no way that a person will find out the owner of that thing, then it's the same ruling of something that is lost. So you have to advertise it for a year, and not use it for a year. And if nobody showed up, then it's yours in this case. But if it belonged to someone, it's not permissible to be used. It has to be kept for a year, like the lost and found. Right? And people actually, the last point, many of them, they think they have a right in this. Like for example, someone, they stole his car and they sold it to someone else. So that third person, he paid, big amount of money. And then he discovered that the car was stolen, and there's no way that he can find out the thief. So he realized that it was stolen, and it's easy to return the car back to the original owner. Should the original owner pay for that third person the money that he paid? No, not even a penny. He is to return it back to the original owner and to seek rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if it's something out of the goodwill of the owner to help the guy out or something, mashallah, this is good. But many people, what they do is that third person will say, I won't give it to you till you give me back what I paid. I was tricked too, so you have to give me the money. That's haram. And the money that he takes is all haram money from him. That's the end of the loss.
But is it necessary for us to find out if that is stolen or? Is
it necessary to find out if it's stolen or not? Usually, if you're buying something, you ask. The normal ruling of people that they are, they're selling something that they exist, so it's their stuff, they sell it. But if it's something, some markets or some things that can have qara'in, the evidence shows that this is not clean. like a guy walk into the store that you have, and he doesn't look like he owned that thing that he's selling. Like, he doesn't look like he's, he looks like he stole it or he took it. It's sometimes it's very honest. And he sells it very cheap.
You can smell.
Yeah, yes. Then in that case, you should not get it.
But if I buy like some bricks list and go to the place and someone says this, I have been using this for years and now for some reason we have to.
I mean, you don't ask people, did you steal this thing? Normally you would purchase it, no problem. But if you find out in this case that it's been stolen, then you have to give it back to the original.
It's very common.